Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Jurassic Park video. I hope you've all been having a fantastic day today and had some time to look back over the Jurassic saga this weekend. Recently, I've been posting a few videos on TikTok that's gained a good amount of views and traction, with loads of people asking questions about this franchise that's seemingly left unanswered. Well, that's what today's video is all about. We're going over some comments that people have been making about some questions that they want answered from this franchise. So today's video is all about what exactly happened to the hatchling Velociraptor from the very first movie of this saga, Jurassic Park. If you have any further questions that you believe are unanswered, then have a look through my channel to see if I've answered your question already, and if not, feel free to comment it below. But as for now, let's get into answering this question that dates back all the way from Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park released in the year of 1993 and will be turning 30 years old in a little over a month's time. This will also mean that the entirety of the Jurassic saga will also be turning 30 years old soon as well. Over this 30-year period, we've been given 6 movies, 2 short films and 1 series that all add up really nicely together. Across these releases, we have seen numerous of connections and implications from and to one another. Easter eggs and connections are what makes these expanded universe movies very enjoyable to watch. However, despite how well tied together this franchise actually is, there's one question that's always bugged me and was never sadly answered in the movies nor shows. What on earth happened to the hatchling Velociraptor from the first movie? I know, it holds nearly no significance to the wider picture and should just be treated as a throwaway character technically. I get that and I respect that, but it doesn't stop me from being intrigued about this as well. While we may not have an official answer quite yet, using a bit of sense and logic, we can gather a logical answer as to what happened to this little gal. So for this answer, we'll have to first go back to 1993 and analyse the scene and area into which it took place in. We can see that this Velociraptor is born within the science labs of Isla Nublar. In here, we can see that a robot is in control of looking after the eggs that are being incubated and taken care of. This robot is crucial to the birth of these dinosaurs, as it tends to keep itself aware of when the eggs need to be rotated to ensure a 100% birth rate as best as it can, meaning that these eggs relied on a robot to incubate. After this, the Velociraptor is born. John Hammond also helps the raptor from breaking away from the egg, and Alan Grant goes ahead and holds the dinosaur itself. In fear of what it may be, he asks what species is this, with Dr. Wu replying,
It's a Velociraptor.
You bred raptors.
and that's where this scene and story ends. After this, we don't really know what happened entirely to the Velociraptor, but it is safe to assume that Jurassic Park has a protocol for dinosaur births. Dr. Wu would have most likely have taken this dinosaur to be looked after yet again by a robotic device until this dinosaur grew to a stage where it was capable to walk, feed and breathe all by itself. Now, as we know, Velociraptors are lethal at 8 months according to Robert Muldoon, and we also know that these dinosaurs have accelerated growth rates as well, meaning that this Velociraptor would not have taken too long to grow to a self-capable dinosaur. In my assumption, I would presume that this Velociraptor would have gotten to this stage in a matter of maybe 1 or 2 weeks, enough for it to possibly even be released into the wild of Isla Sorna or to be held in captivity on Isla Nublar. If you're enjoying this video so far, please go ahead and leave a like on the video, and better yet, subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about this movie franchise, as we cover heaps of content about Jurassic. There are more movies and shows confirmed to be on the way eventually, so don't worry, as content will continue for years to come. After all, why not? It's completely free to press that red subscribe button and doesn't affect you in any negative way whatsoever. But for now, let's get back to the video. Now, given the circumstances of what we saw in the Jurassic Park movie, it's clear that this storm was putting people into an evacuation as fast as possible. The horrendous hurricane was quickly approaching the island, meaning that the safety of humans was the main priority. everyone on the island was evacuated for safety measures for Jurassic Park. That includes the scientists too. If we were to assume the protocol was similar to what we saw in Jurassic World and Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, this means that the labs would have been left alone, and the focus would have been to the life of humans. In Camp Cretaceous, we can see that the eggs are also left incubating with a working robotic arm. So it is safe to assume that the same thing would have happened in Jurassic Park years ago. I would also assume that Dr. Wu would have had maybe a similar backroom staff to what we had in Jurassic Park, also working under him in Jurassic World. Anyways, with that being said, this means that all of the eggs might have been able to have survived until the next day, but as we all know, there was no next day on Isla Nublar. The park was shut down, and the island wasn't returned to for nearly a year until the 1994 cleanup. Meaning that these eggs were simply not cared for. Since this all happened within a day on the island, we can safely assume that the Velociraptor hatchling was moved to a unique and small holding facility where its initial plans were to be looked after by the crew of Jurassic Park. Sadly, this wasn't to be as the hurricane approached the island and, just like the eggs, the Velociraptor was left abandoned. Unfortunately, nobody returned back to the island after this. So where does that leave the Velociraptor? Well, considering its holding facility would have probably had enough food to keep her going for a few days, that's most likely the full extent of what was available to her. With just a couple days worth of food supply, she would have been able to survive that long. But she was also not at the stage where she could run, walk or eat all on her own. So I believe that within just a few hours of the evacuation, this dinosaur would have most likely have died off, never to be seen again. Pair this up with the idea that she was also trapped within a room, isolated by herself, there's almost a 100% guarantee that she definitely died within a few days of being alone in Jurassic Park as the absolute maximum. But it is also worth noting that we don't have the full canonical specifics that occurred immediately after the events of Jurassic Park, but it's our current understanding that no one returned to the island until 1994. So given all of the evidence, factors and predictions we have made in this video, it is very much safe to assume that this Velociraptor sadly died within a mere few hours after the events of Jurassic Park. We'll have to wait and see if any further details come out regarding the existence of this Velociraptor, as JP30 is right around the corner. Unfortunately, however, JP30 doesn't seem to be much of a celebration, so being excited for deleted scenes and or new information about the original movie may not really be something that we can look forward to, unfortunately. But for now, this is the best speculation that we have. And speculation that we can safely assume is the actual answer as to what exactly happened to this little critter after the events of Jurassic Park. And unfortunately, it's a sad one. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave a like and don't forget to also comment down some questions you might have about this franchise. Feel free to also subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, but most importantly, I hope you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.
Well, there it is.
There it is.
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
What species is this? It's a Velociraptor.
You bred raptors.
Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.